Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about the 7 signs that God is leading you into a new season. We all go through different seasons in life, and sometimes we can feel like we're stuck or unsure of what's coming next. But let me remind you, when God is preparing you for something new, you will see clear signs. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the most noticeable signs is the presence of unusual opportunities. You may find yourself facing situations, doors, or chances that you never anticipated. They can appear out of nowhere, and often in ways you never expected. It's easy to dismiss these opportunities, especially when they seem too big or too different from what you're used to. But when God is moving you into a new season, He will open doors that you can't open on your own. Sometimes the opportunities that come your way may not make sense in the natural. You might find yourself in a situation that feels outside of your comfort zone or feels like it's taking you in a completely new direction. Maybe it's a job offer that seems too good to be true, or a new relationship that has the potential to take you places you've never been. You might even experience an opportunity to serve or contribute in a way you never imagined for yourself. These opportunities are not coincidences, they are God's divine design for your life. They might come in the form of a new job, a sudden business partnership, an invitation to speak, or an introduction to someone who will become a key figure in your future. They might challenge you, stretch your faith, or require you to step outside of your comfort zone. But these unusual opportunities are God's way of showing you that He's preparing you for something greater. When God opens a door, it's not just about what's in front of you, but about what He's doing inside of you. These opportunities will often push you to grow in ways you didn't expect. You may feel unprepared or unsure, but trust that God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the call. Even when you feel equipped, His power will equip you for the task ahead. In moments like this, it's important to remember that these doors are not a random occurrence. They are orchestrated by God to get you to the next level of your life. It might feel intimidating at first, but recognize that when God is leading you, He will always equip you with everything you need. It's easy to look at your own abilities and think you're not ready for what's in front of you, but God's plans are greater than anything we can understand. His opportunities may seem too big, but that's because He's calling you to a place of greater trust, faith, and reliance on Him. Sometimes these opportunities will come at unexpected times when you least expect them. You might be going about your day when something shifts, or you might get a phone call, an email, or a message that opens the door to something you've been praying for. The key is to be ready. Be open to what God has for you, even when it looks different than you imagine. God's timing is perfect, and His opportunities are designed to take you exactly where you need to be. So when you begin to see unusual opportunities, don't hesitate. Don't second guess yourself. Don't let fear talk you out of what God is placing in front of you. Step forward in faith, trusting that He has already paved the way for you. These opportunities are not just coincidences, they are signs that God is leading you into a new season, a season full of growth, potential, and favor. When God is leading you into a new season, you will often experience an increase in favor and blessings that seems almost unexplainable. These blessings may not always be material, but they will certainly feel like divine moments where you can see God's hand at work in your life. Favor isn't just about getting what you want, it's about God's special attention on your life, the kind of grace that opens doors that no one else can open and makes a way where there seems to be no way. As you move forward into a new season, you might find that things just start to fall into place. Things that used to be a struggle are now becoming smoother. You may get that unexpected promotion at work, see a financial breakthrough you didn't see coming, or even find relationships that seem to be more harmonious and life-giving. When God's favor is on you, everything changes. Opportunities that once seemed impossible are now possible, and you may find that things are lining up in ways you couldn't have orchestrated yourself. This divine favor doesn't always come in the ways we expect. It could be something as simple as a word of encouragement from someone who lifts your spirits right when you need it. Or maybe it's a new connection that leads to an opportunity you hadn't even dreamed of. It can be a promotion at work, a new relationship, or a chance to serve in a way that makes a difference. The key is recognizing that these are not just coincidences, they are the blessings God is pouring out in your life as He moves you into the next season. Increased favor often feels like a shift in your environment. You start seeing people who are willing to help you open doors for you and make things happen that you couldn't do on your own. You may have been struggling in a particular area for a while, and then out of nowhere, things begin to change. You might have been overlooked before, but suddenly you're being noticed. You might have been stuck in a situation for years, but now you're getting the breakthrough you've been praying for. Alongside this favor, there's often a deep sense of peace that accompanies the blessings. When God's favor is on your life, you will feel a sense of rest. You'll know that you are walking in His will and that He is guiding your steps. This peace doesn't mean that everything will be perfect, but it does mean that you'll have the assurance that God is with you in every step, that He is orchestrating every detail, and that His timing is always right. Even when challenges arise, you'll have a quiet confidence that God is in control and that the favor He's placed on you is leading you towards something greater. It's important to recognize that God's favor doesn't mean that life will always be easy. It doesn't mean you won't face challenges or setbacks, but it does mean that God is setting things up for you in such a way that you will overcome those obstacles. You will see favor in your life that will not only bless you, but will position you to be a blessing to others. It's a favor that elevates you, but also equips you to help those around you in their own journey. This season of favor and blessings is a clear sign that God is leading you into something new. When you begin to see it, take note of it. Be grateful for it. Recognize that it is not by your own strength or by the grace of God that these blessings are unfolding in your life. As God leads you into a new season, one of the signs you'll notice is growing restlessness and a shift in your desires. You might begin to feel unsettled in the life you've been living, as though something inside of you is longing for something more, something different. This restlessness is not necessarily a negative feeling. It's often a sign that God is stirring your heart, preparing you for what's ahead. When God is about to move you into a new season, your heart begins to long for things that were once outside of your scope or comfort zone. This restlessness may not have a clear cause at first, but you'll begin to feel a shift in your priorities. The things that once satisfied you may no longer feel as fulfilling. The work you've been doing, the relationships you've been in, or even the environment you've been in may start to feel like they no longer align with the person you're becoming. You may feel as though you're being called to something greater or different, but you're not quite sure what it is yet. This is the point where faith becomes essential. When you start feeling this stirring inside of you, it can be easy to brush it off or try to ignore it, thinking that it's just a passing feeling or a momentary phase. But often when God is preparing you for a new season, He will first create a discontentment with where you are, even though we might fully understand it. This discontentment is God's way of redirecting your attention and setting you on the path that He has ordained for you. You might find yourself dreaming bigger, desiring things that seemed impossible before, or wanting to step into areas you never considered. Your ambitions may shift, your goals may change, and your focus may expand. This desire for something new is a powerful sign that God is shaping your heart to prepare for what He's about to bring into your life. You may find yourself having a renewed passion for a cause, a renewed interest in an area of your life that once seemed distant, or a deep yearning for a change in your career, relationships, or personal growth. During this time, it's important to resist the urge to rush ahead or make impulsive decisions based on the restlessness you feel. Even though you might be anxious to jump into this new season, God's timing is always perfect. Restlessness isn't about forcing a change, it's about waiting on God's direction and trusting that He knows what's best for you. The shift in your desires is an invitation to listen closely to what God is speaking to your heart. It's an opportunity to evaluate your current life and ask God if there's something He wants to refine, realign, or completely transform. This stirring in your heart is a divine signal that you are on the edge of a breakthrough. It's God's way of moving you to a new level, but it requires a willingness to step out of the old and embrace the new. Sometimes the change might feel uncomfortable, even daunting, but the restlessness you feel is God's way of preparing your heart to embrace His greater plan. As you follow this pull and allow your desires to shift and align with His will, you'll find that the fulfillment you've been longing for is found in trusting Him through this transition. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the most comforting and powerful signs is the peace that you experience even in the midst of uncertainty. It's a peace that transcends understanding, a peace that guards your heart and mind even when things around you may seem unclear or chaotic. This peace is not the absence of challenges or difficulties, but the assurance that God is in control, guiding you step by step through the unknown. In times of transition, it's easy to feel anxious, unsure, or overwhelmed. When we face change, especially big changes, it's natural to feel a little unsettled. But when God is preparing you for a new season, He will give you an internal calmness, a deep sense of peace that assures you that everything is going to work out according to His plan. This peace is a divine gift that confirms to your heart that you're exactly where you need to be, even when you can't see the full picture yet. This peace may not come all at once, and it may not always make logical sense. You might still have questions, uncertainties, or even fears, but deep inside, there's a quiet knowing that you are being led in the right direction. It's like a stillness in your soul that lets you know that no matter what happens externally, God's got it. You don't have to have all the answers, and you don't have to figure everything out on your own. The peace that God gives you in this season is a reminder that He is walking beside you a step of the way. This peace can also help you make decisions. When you are unsure about what to do next and you feel torn between different options, God's peace will guide you. You will know what's right because the peace of God will rest on the path that aligns with His will for your life. The absence of peace can be a red flag signaling that you may be heading in the wrong direction. But when God's peace is present, it's a confirmation that you are walking in harmony with His purpose. The peace that comes with moving into a new season also gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when things don't go according to your plans. Sometimes the road may be bumpy and things may take longer than you hoped or look different than you imagined. But this peace from God will give you the endurance to keep going, knowing that He is orchestrating everything for your good. It's not a peace that depends on external circumstances. It's a peace that comes from the assurance that God is in control and that He will never leave you nor forsake you. Even in the midst of change, when everything seems up in the air, you will have a confidence that God is leading you, guiding you, and preparing you for what's next. This peace is a sign that He is leading you into a new season. And though you might not see it all clearly right now, that peace will be your anchor as you move forward, step by step, trusting in His timing and His plan for your life. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the most unmistakable signs you'll notice is the divine connections that start to appear in your life. People you never expected to meet suddenly come into your path, and relationships that seem distant or disconnected begin to strengthen and take shape in ways that are clearly orchestrated by God. These divine connections are not by chance or coincidence. They are part of God's master plan to help you step into your next season. These connections can come in many forms. It could be a mentor who shows up just when you need guidance, offering wisdom that propels you forward. It might be a new friend who shares similar values and dreams, encouraging you to pursue your passions with renewed determination. Sometimes these connections can be professional, as well as someone who opens a door for you, introducing you to opportunities you couldn't have imagined. It could even be a new neighbor a church member, or someone you meet in passing, yet there is an undeniable sense that meeting them was not a random occurrence, but a divine appointment. As God moves you into a new season, He often uses these people to prepare you, teach you, and challenge you. The right people can shift your perspective, provide the support you need, and help you take steps you might have been too afraid to take on your own. These connections come into your life at the right time, often when you need them the most. It may seem like a coincidence at first, but you'll soon realize that these individuals have been placed in your life for a reason. These divine connections can also be pivotal in helping you grow spiritually. God will often bring people into your life who speak into your journey of faith, encouraging you to believe in the promises He has for you, even when things seem uncertain. The people who come into your life during this season may be ones who remind you of God's faithfulness, who walk beside you through challenges, and who share in your victories. They are like companions who help you carry the weight of the journey and celebrate with you as you experience the goodness of God in your life. It's important to recognize these connections for what they are, gifts from God. Sometimes in the busyness of life, it's easy to take relationships for granted, but when God is preparing you for something new, the right people will show up at the right time. These connections will challenge you, encourage you, and stretch you in ways that will help you grow into the person God has called you to be. They might not always be easy relationships, and sometimes they may push you out of your comfort zone, but these people are placed in your life to help move you forward. As you begin to notice these divine connections, take time to nurture and appreciate them. Don't take them for granted. Listen to the wisdom they offer, lean into the encouragement they provide, and be open to the ways God is using them to guide you into the new season He has prepared for you. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the most profound signs is a break from the past. You'll begin to notice that things, people, and situations that once held you back no longer have a hold on you. This break is often a sign that God is clearing the way for something new to come into your life, something that's in alignment with the purpose He has for you in this new season. It's a season of freedom, and it often requires a shedding of old habits, relationships, and mindsets that no longer serve you. This break from the past may manifest in different ways. For some, it may be the end of a relationship that has been draining or toxic, but the separation brings a new sense of peace and clarity. For others, it might be the closing of a chapter in their career, the release of a dream that didn't quite work out, or the letting go of past regrets and mistakes that have been holding them back from moving forward. God's work in your life often requires a willingness to step away from what's familiar, even if it's uncomfortable, because He knows that holding on to the old will only prevent you from stepping into the new. During this season of break, it's important to understand that God is not leading you into a place of emptiness, but into a place of new growth. While the past may have served its purpose, it's time for you to be open to new possibilities, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking. God will often allow you to experience a season of separation, not because He wants to punish you, but because He wants to protect you and prepare you for what lies ahead. The break from the past is a necessary part of this transition, allowing you to fully embrace the new season He has in store for you. The freedom that comes with this break is not just about external circumstances, it's also about internal freedom. You may find that you are letting go of old fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. God is breaking off the chains of your past, and He's giving you the freedom to step into the fullness of who you were created to be. This freedom allows you to step forward with confidence, knowing that the past does not define you. God's grace and forgiveness have covered everything, and He's now calling you to move forward in a new direction. The process of breaking away can be challenging, but it's also incredibly freeing. It can be difficult to let go of things or people that were once a significant part of your life, but you can trust that God's plan is better than anything you could have imagined. As you break free from the past, you'll find that the weight you've been carrying is lifted and you begin to walk lighter with more purpose and focus on the future. This break from the past is a powerful reminder that God is making all things new. He is preparing you for a season of growth, transformation, and new opportunities. And while you may not fully understand all that is ahead, trust that God is leading you with love, wisdom, and a perfect plan. Embrace this season of freedom because the best is yet to come. Remember, you may not see the whole picture yet, but trust that God is working behind the scenes, preparing you for something amazing. Hold on because the best is yet to come.